Hey everybody, it's the SOBs who love SOV, and you'll notice that I have my co-host Slade. We're gonna do the Brady
Oh,
Bunch thing here. Slade and Maddie,
I'm
but we
supposed to.
also yeah, you're that way. Yeah. But we also have a guest, director Brewce Longo,
How you doing?
who is here to talk about his career and his movie, the Coven of the Black Cube, which we will be reviewing as well. So, Brewce, thank you for joining us. Do you want to tell us a little about yourself? It's like the first day of school.
Yeah. Hi, class. Good to meet you. My name is Bruce. Yeah, I make uh, transgressive serial killer, heavy metal fueled horror movies. Um, yeah, I've been shooting movies on VHS for a few years now. Yeah, my first movie, Bloodsick Psychosis. Which then sort of gave birth to a production company I started called Bloodsick Productions. We went on to make a Christmas necrophilia film after that called A Corpse for Christmas. Then we made a short film with David the Rock Nelson called Pumpkin Man Lives. And then this year we shot two movies back to back called Coven of the Black Cube and Busted Babies, which just had a 20 city tour. Um, and Yeah, so Coven of the Black Cube I directed and I produced Busted Babies for director Casper Melted Hair, who starred in the last three movies I made, actually.
Cool. So, what is this movie about?
So Coven of the Black Cube, it's in one part it's about this coven of witches that help unhappy wives murder their husbands. And it is also a bit of a lesbian romance drama. I feel like it sort of starts as like a romance drama and like turns into like horror as the movie goes on. Um, and Yeah, it's sort of loosely based on these Philadelphia true crimes in the late 1930s. There was this like group of people called the Philadelphia Poison Ring, where they were selling arsenic out the back of their shop on Passyunk Avenue to the unhappy wives, and the whole neighborhood thought that there was like a witchcraft curse on the neighborhood, and but really it was just like these like Italian tailors. So we sort of like leaned into like the superstitions and like instead of it being Italian tailors, we thought it'd be cooler if it was like hot goth like witches that ran like a record store slash occult shop, but doing the sort of the same type of crimes. Yeah, and I wrote it along with two of the stars of the film, Zoe Angeli, never say her name right, and Josh Schaefer from Lunch Meat. Yeah, it's sort of like a breakup movie, sort of sort of a witchcraft movie, you know. Uh, it's melancholic and gross and putrid. Yeah.
with amazing music
Yes.
as your other films have. It's
Yeah,
those
yeah, I think it's more the soundtrack is more diverse than like my last two movies, my first couple movies were like just like super like punk and metal driven. This one it has a lot of that still, but it also has some like spookier tunes, some acoustic music, some folk music, and there's like a pop song in the mix as well. And yeah, it's a little more diverse this time. But yeah, I think there's like 21 different bands on the soundtrack this time.
Yeah,
yeah, and
that definitely stands out big time in
Yeah.
this movie.
Hmm.
yeah, especially the intro with Sing Slavic.
Yes.
I think that was like when I met you at Wasteland. That was one of the first questions I asked was just,
Hmm.
after I'd taken and seen the film, was just how effective the opening was at creating like a really spooky vibe, and the night shots and that were great.
we got very lucky that night. The weather is we shot it in January, but like we got this like beautiful like warm Friday evening, and like the sky was like bright orange, almost red, and it was like warm enough that we could be outside filming for hours, and everyone was comfortable. And Sing Slavic is this West Philly women's choir group. They sing all traditional folk songs in their original language, and even though like the lyrics themselves aren't really that spooky. It just kind of has this sort of like cult folky like witchy sound to them, I thought. So I thought it would be like the perfect opening for the movie. And then it cuts right into the credits, and it's all of a sudden like this old like 90s song from Pain Teens, who like I first discovered Pain Teens through they were on the Hugh Gallagher movie soundtracks back in the 90s. So it was King Coffee from the Butthole Surfers. It was like a side project of his, you know.
Hmm. Oh,
Um, yeah.
And we get amazing Acid Witch cameo in this,
Yeah.
which was fantastic, and a shit fucker striptease.
Yeah. So if any of your fans aren't familiar with Acid Witch and Shitfucker, check them out. Number one, right? Acid Witch is they're like a Halloween like slash horror movie themed like death metal band. And then Shitfucker is sort of like they're sort of like a cousin band. So like Tim Jenkins, aka Shagrat, is in both of those bands. And then the singer to Shitfucker also cameos in the movie as well as an arsenic dealer. So Shitfucker and Acid Witch are both in the movie as well. But yeah, I met Shagrat a couple years ago. He ended up doing the cover art to Corpse for Christmas and gave us a song for the end credits for that movie. And then expressed some interest in acting. So like he couldn't make it to Philly to be in the movie, but like we wanted to give them a cameo. So we were out in Detroit already anyway, so we filmed a little cameo scene with him and the Tony Moran guys, you know.
Yeah, that was a big highlight for me was the Acid Witch cameo and the huge jacket from Schiffer's lead singer just taking it coming in. That was it was great. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even if you don't know who Acid Witch is, I still think that their cameo is like one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
yeah.
You know, I also just it's sort of like a ridiculous concept that like Morgan's character is watching the news and you've got David the Rock Nelson playing like a news anchor. Then it cuts to like mumblecore filmmaker Joe Swanberg as a cop interviewing Acid Witch. It's like yeah, it's absurd.
I didn't know who they were, so I listened to Taylor Swift. I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, I
Sure.
didn't know who they were musically, but yeah, they were hilarious. Like in
They were
that.
great.
And I
I'm
love
a,
David Rock Nelson's little rant, the post-credit rant.
Mhm.
Like he seems like a really like he's playing like a drunk like 1980s like Tom Brokaw or something. Hilarious.
David's great. So like when we were filming his scenes, I told him I was like, all right, we're gonna do every shot, we're gonna do it two different ways. We do it once where you read the script how I wrote it, and then another time you say it however you want, and because he like can't not ad lib basically, you know. So we did two takes of like most shots of him, and then we use sort of like a mixture to make it work, you know. Everyone cracks up when he talks about the victim Arthur Brooks and he has to compare it to Conrad
Conrad.
Brooks and Nine from Outer Space.
I have that on here. I'm like, there were like three mentions of Conrad Brooks like in this movie. I'm like, what's the obsession? I felt like it
Um,
had to be an in joke or something.
is there
Like
is there more than one mention of Conrad?
there was.
I
It
only
was like
remember him saying
I
it.
don't even know what the other one was, but like, yeah, you said it again.
yeah,
Oh,
Michael.
you know what it is? Oh, I think he says it a second time in the same scene because he then says, "Oh, and now we return to our regular programming of Werewolf and the Witch, sequel to
Yep.
David Rock Nelson's Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That was it. And then the other great cameo that was a favorite around here was the Warlock. Um, so it was like having like a little mini Warlock home video in the middle of it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Love
Yeah.
that.
But
Yeah, that was awesome. We got. I mean, that's Andrew Balthus. If you know him, he always played the Warlock. So we got the timing kind of worked out great. That when I went to shoot with Chris, Andrew was in town. He's from
Chris
Kansas City.
Seaver.
Yeah,
Yeah, in
yeah,
case you haven't seen the movie yet. Sorry, guys.
yeah. Legendary shot and video director Chris Seaver, absurdist comedy horror filmmaker. He was like my like initial goal for like a cameo for this scene. And then when we were started to plan it out, he had told me that he was gonna have that there was this one weekend where he was gonna have Andrew who plays the Warlock and Meredith Host, who's in like whole ton of Seaver's movies. They were both in town at the same time. They're both from Kansas City area. So it was great. I was like, all right, cool. We'll include both of them as well in the scene, And yeah, I think that's been a fan favorite scene as well. It's ungodly funny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like some of the commercials and like the things they're watching on TV. Yeah, you're totally just pandering to us. I mean, but it works.
Yeah. Yeah. I like just sort of using people that I found to be like inspirations to my filmmaking, and I like putting them like in my movies, and sometimes it's just like a small little dose here and there, but yeah, a mixture of like Chris Seaver and Carl Sukenik and David the Rock Nelson, Tina Kraus, all these like to me like huge names in like the 90s shot on video days. So yeah, I like that. Even Joe Swanberg actually, he's not really known for shot on video, but he did start his first handful of like mumblecore movies, weren't horror, but they were shot on video. Mm.
Cool.
I think I think it's really cool because the shot on video, the people who really love all these films, it seems like a really like tight knit community. Like so many people are just so ready to take and be in other people's films, or just celebrate these wacky, very unique ideas that up and coming filmmakers like yourself have got. And I mean, I have like when I take a look at your credits, like I know every single name in thanks to the SOB legends. You
Yeah.
know, we interviewed Todd Sheets a while back, and it's everybody's so approachable and so kind and generous with taking and just talking about these movies because they love them as much as we do.
Andrew's in a few of Todd's movies as well, actually, the Warlock.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. There's for whatever reason too that Todd Sheets made this werewolf movie called Bone Hill Road, and Andrew is credited as the werewolf, but he told me he never made it to set on that.
Whatever, you got the credit.
Yeah, yeah. But Todd's a legend. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I've yet to meet him in person, but I really want to. But I think he's amazing. Huge inspiration of my work as well, especially his early movies.
I want to know the Iron City. You guys are in Philly. There was so much Iron City, and I actually have some for the occasion.
Oh yeah.
This movie made me want pizza and Iron City beer.
So, all right, I'll give you the Iron City break.
Yeah, I'm so curious because I live in Pittsburgh, so I'm like,
Yeah.
what's so much Iron City in this movie?
Here's what's funny though is like to a non-Pennsylvanian, I'm like, oh yeah, they're both in Pennsylvania, so they both drink that one iron stuff, right? Like,
So, when I was making my first movie, Bloodsick Psychosis, like I didn't necessarily like want to like set the movie in any sort of time, but I did want it to look old fashioned, and I wanted to use a lot of things that looked like they could have been in like the 90s or older. And There's a lot of beer drinking in that movie, in all of my movies, really. And I was just like looking around like my beer shop one day. I was like, what has just like a label that looks like really old? And then I like saw there's like a 30 pack Iron City. I was like, dude, that is the beer that's in like a lot of those like Pittsburgh movies. Like I think of like Flesh Eater the most, the Bill Heinzman movie. And I don't know for a fact, but if I were to guess, that movie is like sponsored by Iron City. There's so much goddamn Iron City all over that movie. And the label has not changed at all since that movie. Dude, we have Iron State. I was like, it's like Flesh Eater, the movie, you know? Um,
Iron City, we don't change our shit.
it's the same label from 50 years ago. It has not
Awesome.
changed. The shape of aluminum cans is the only thing that's changed, you know? Um, yeah. So yeah, I we changed it for in A Corpse for Christmas. We changed the beer to this like Springer Red Rose beer because I was like working at this brewery that made it, and they like made this beer with like a retro label from the 70s. So they sponsored that movie. So we didn't
Oh,
use Iron
nice.
City. We didn't use
Oh,
Iron City in Corpse for Christmas.
You got
But
to go where the sponsorship is,
yeah.
man.
So, but I don't work for that brewery anymore. So I was like, well, I don't have a sponsor, so we're just gonna go back to Iron City.
I think that's fair.
There you go. Full circle.
Yeah. So Iron City, if anyone works for Iron City and y'all want to sponsor us, dude, we want that. Okay.
I wouldn't. I do.
We're already giving you free advertising.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
line about was that Tony Moran who said like you see a dead body drinking Iron City.
No.
Have no fear. That was completely ad-libbed, you know. Let me give you a little tidbit on Tony Moran. Okay. I fucking love Tony Moran, but he's one of the most psychotic filmmakers I've ever met. All right. I was, I was just out in Detroit filming a movie with him called Evil 1%, where I'm going back to film with him in 2 weeks. But yeah, so the day that we filmed that scene was supposed to be him and Shagrat, playing like the band members, and Tony was an hour late, and then he shows up and we're already filming without him, and we just used like Dave from Acid Witch to say the lines I had written for Tony. Tony's fucking furious, he's like, "You started what up?" I was like, "Bro, you're an hour late." So I was like, "All right, you're still gonna be in the movie. Just go. Say whatever you want."
Oh no.
We let him ad lib for like 20 minutes, and he said so much crazy shit. He gave us so much good material to choose from.
Now, I'm trying to take. Is it Asia?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Like the Steely Dan record. She's named after a Steely Dan record, Asia.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is
Zoe,
she really? Or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, really.
Zoe and Ellie's costumes. Like, did they take in? Was that just their wardrobe, or did you
So
take and bring stuff in? Because like their style was awesome throughout.
yeah. So Zoe especially is just like super goth babe fetish model, and like has all of this insane like clothing and outfits, whatever you call them. And she pretty much was just like, hey, like you should hire like my two like best friends, Asia and Ella, to play like the other two witches, because they all like go out to like the goth clubs, they dress to the nine. They look amazing, and I was like, yes, dude. So like they all brought their own outfits, and they designed those themselves, bought them themselves, and it was like they'd be like, they would do like a full-on change, for each scene and stuff. So like, which some of those outfits like took time to get into. So yeah, that they did all their. I think pretty much everyone in the movie did their own wardrobe. Um, I think I gave Josh like one shirt to wear. But other than that, everyone just like wore their own. Yeah, they got to pick their own outfits. Mhm.
Yeah, I was taking and talking to you like previously about how that counter at the the witch shop takes and makes all of them look incredibly tall and intimidating. But upon my like taking and watching it again, I realized that Asia is like she's very tall too. Like
Asia's very tall, and besides being naturally tall already, she also wears these like massive platform like boots or shoes, like they that give her a few more inches. Like so and I think Asia is like very, very intimidating, very terrifying in person. I thought she was like perfect for like the more sinister witch. And yeah, and then you put it on that counter. And man, yeah, when we first started filming there, we realized I was like, oh my God. Like, first of all, like Tina Kraus shows up and she's way shorter than I expected in
That's
real life. And like just Tina talking to like Zoe on top. I was like, oh my God, there's like a 2 foot difference here.
yeah, and she's a legend too. She's been in so much.
Mhm. Yeah, like hundreds. She's like the wave girl, but she's been in so much more beyond that as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Josh Schaefer taking and almost stealing the show throughout. Like, is that just Josh playing Josh? Because
Uh,
like,
I mean, it's sort of like so. Josh wrote his own character pretty much. Josh originally approached me with like this idea for like a short film, and I liked the idea, but I didn't really want to make a short film at the time. But I thought it would exist really well in like the universe that me and Zoe were starting to build at the time. And so he had written. I mean, the character of Milo is essentially like a sort of like a spoof of Josh's real life. He's like uh I don't know, yeah, like a stoner deadbeat but he runs like a pizza shop that he turned into a video shop slash head shop. But I think that's just like Josh's dream job.
he's
amazing story.
projecting with his writing.
Yeah.
We need a
So
circles and squares in every
Yeah.
town in
mhm.
America.
No, yeah, but they're gonna get run out of town by Dingo Pizza.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
Circles and Squares is a real pizzeria that my friend Dan Gutter runs. I think it's the best pizza in Philadelphia. So if you're ever in town, check
But
it
it's
out.
not a video store
You
too.
can't get videos. You can't get weed. Well, I mean, you, you never know. Gutter probably is usually loaded, but but now so far no videos. One day, right? Maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, and
But
you
yeah, Josh wrote his own ending to like the ending of Milo was Josh's idea. I developed the character a little bit more, but like originally Josh was like, I just want to play the stoner deadbeat. Had the idea for the store, had the idea for the ending. And then, he had just kind of said that he wanted to be like in a band and like everyone in the band, his like girlfriend were all like sort of mad at him for being like this, like, stoner deadbeat. And I thought it worked perfect in the story of the rest of this that we were working on.
the
Whenever
cigarette gags were hilarious.
Yeah, he wrote those. Yeah.
I've done that so many times with taking and drinking a beer and taking and having a cigarette be in it and just like spit it out the day after. Ugh, ugh.
Yeah, Josh wrote those scenes, and then we went to go film them. He was like, "Dude, do I have to really do this?" I was like, "Bro, you wrote this, man."
Yeah.
I noticed that there are some newcomers in this film too. In addition to Asia, like Zoe's friends, Annie was amazing in this.
Yeah.
Like she did like some of the ways that she's like the freak out
Mhm.
uh was
Yeah.
a highlight, and
Yeah.
you almost got the cops called on you on that
Uh,
one.
well, I mean, cops didn't give us any problems at all, but the cameraman, my director of photography, Michael DiFrancesco, thought, I was like, we're just shooting in the middle of the street, and Annie's fucking screaming her lungs out. No one bothered us at all, but Michael was paranoid that somebody would call the cops. But no, nobody did. But now Annie's amazing. I first met Annie when we were doing Corpse for Christmas. I had another actress drop out like literally like the day we were filming. She's like out sick, and I asked Zoe, who was going by Ossuary Angel at the time. I was like, "Do you know anyone?" I was like, "We because it was like we were at a loss. We were supposed to film the scene in like 6 hours. And yeah, Zoe made this phone call or something, and Annie showed up. She's from Delaware, and she drove up and did this couple scenes with us. And for having absolutely zero time to prepare, I thought she like knocked that character out of the park. Um, so I knew I wanted to bring them back for this movie and give them more of like a bigger part and something that they could like really shine in.
Yeah, her presentation like is the bitchy wife takes and makes Josh's character so much more sympathetic. And I was like, it was great.
Yeah.
Like um
Josh's character. So Milo is like he's the audience, really. I mean, he's the audience character, the
Right.
one that like you're like, yeah, I'd rather be sitting on my couch. Yeah, I want a pizza store with, yeah. So he becomes a very likable, very like,
Yeah.
yeah. I was kind of like justice for Milo.
Exactly.
Yeah. I hope people feel bad for them. I hear mixed things. Some people are like, yeah, no, Milo fucking sucks. And then some people are like, no, he's the sweet character that everyone's supposed to love.
Yeah.
But it's mostly women that have dated deadbeats that are not fans of Milo.
Oh, I'm Team Milo.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
so am I.
Yeah.
Mhm.
uh,
But yeah,
you, you
yeah, Annie Rose. I'm hoping to do a movie where Annie's like the lead sometime. Um Annie should be like a leading lady, I think.
Yeah, we spoke a lot about your claymation that is present in Bloodsick and Corpse, which is fantastic, and you can take and also find it on Bruce's YouTube channel. A lot of the older ones, they're great. I love claymation. I love puppetry in films so much.
Yeah, I started doing claymation about I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or so, and I did that for a while before I was directing. And yeah, I usually do a little bit of stop motion in each movie. I did not have time to do it for Coven of the Black Cube because I was editing Coven and Busted Babies kind of like at the same time, and stop motion just takes forever. But I really wanted there to be some stop motion in the movie, despite the fact that I didn't have time for it. So I ended up hiring this animator named Erica, who she runs a claymation studio called Wicked Snail Productions. I met her at Cinema Wasteland last year. And saw her again this year. She ruled. So she did the claymation title for Coven for me. She was just in Trauma's that new Trauma movie Lloyd is directing right now, The Power of Positive Murder that just shot last month. Yeah, so Erica, Wicked Snail, amazing animator. Check her out. Mhm. Or
I
check out
did.
my old stuff, yeah. But yeah, I didn't do this one.
I did miss the claymation during the opening credits, but we did get to see Stephen Dreyfuss get Janice.click. If you're not familiar with this stuff, go check it out because it's amazing. McMurderer and Fish Piss,
And,
Shrek Crack.
Shrek
It's,
Crack, which I appear in Shrek Crack, although you don't see I'm wearing a mask, but I'm in that movie, you know. Yeah, the opening credits was fun to do. We shot all those segments kind of later. Steven filmed his own segment. Actually, his daughter shot his scene for him. But I thought that it'd be fun to like have like a bunch of like my friends do these like small little cameos that couldn't be in like the full movie, but it would just show the sort of the history of violence of these witches during the opening credits. So we have like the one bit by Janice Click. I got the one bit where it's like Francis from Devilmaster gets it, and then there's like the one bit where it's like Zach and my and Aaron Kaywood and then my Kansas City buds Elijah from Magnetic Magic. Yeah, so it's yeah, I don't know. They were really fun to do. Yeah.
it was really great taking and meeting you at Cinema Wasteland. Like I was wearing a Toads King shirt, and I came up and I you showed me your tattoo, and I had a Step Brothers moment where I was like, "Are we best friends now?" Because that's I fucking love that movie so much. And then Casper showed up, and she's like, "Hi!" And it was great taking and meeting her and Michael and the rest of the crew. And I picked up Busted Babies, and you shot these both at the same time, right?
Yeah, so the last 2 weeks of January is when we got together and we shot Busted Babies first for the most part. We had like 4.5 days on Busted Babies, and we had a day off. No, we had 2 days off, I think. And then yeah, we shot Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What, Monday? Wait, no, no, no. We shot Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Busted Babies. And then one scene late Tuesday night at the bar I was working at. I had to work and I was like, once it was like 11 o'clock, I was like, all right, everyone come to the bar. Shoot, there's no.
Awesome.
So then Wednesday we weren't filming, but like we were like dressing like the Torture Dungeon set. Thursday we were completely off, and then we shot Coven of the Black Cube Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday, we had Ortlieb's, the music venue, and we had scenes for both movies to shoot there. So it's kind of cool that like the very last location that we had, we were filming both movies that night, and so like our wrap was like truly like wrapping both movies at the same night.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was crazy because like when we did the Busted Babies stuff at Ortlieb's first, and it was like, oh my God, we're back in like Busted Babies land because it's like Casper starts that with like her like fake trash and like it's like let me tell you, Busted Babies is a whole world. It's like a weird fucking like analog nightmare world.
It
And
melted my
filming
brain.
it was insane. And then we get the Coven, and it's just the vibe is so different, despite it being the same crew and a lot of like overlapping cast and stuff. And it's like, oh, and this is more like this like gothic, like witchcraft, romance drama, and it's like a whole different world. And once we get to Ortley, I don't know, filming like scenes for both movies the same day was like a mind trip. It was nuts. Hmm.
Just like you said, you're a workaholic. You did.
Yeah.
What do we got to look forward to from you coming up outside of Diabolical?
Um, it's tough to say. Like I really want to write. Me and Casper like have been like just talking about this like other movie that I like kind of sort of started writing, but like I'm nowhere near like done finished. So like I don't know, like we might write a movie together that I might direct next year. I've also been talking with Annie about writing something together, so we might do something like that. I am working on a short film that'll be part of an anthology that Morgan Millam is putting together. My friend Patrick wrote that. So we're gonna work on that. I'm shooting more Evil 1% with Tony next month. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure what's gonna there's a new Janice Click movie called Tent Burner. I did a
Yes,
segment for. I think that like that might be out now. I think it just came
I'm
out.
pretty sure it's out now. I think I saw it on his website.
Yeah, so I have I filmed a segment, like a 2 minute scene for that I also filmed in uh a music video with like similar footage. I did this thing where I was shooting with this actress Keisha Rose, who if you guys are fans of like Casper, like Keisha was in a bunch of movies with her, Donald Farmer stuff. And so I met up with Keisha the night before our tour started, since I was going to be in Kentucky already. So she lives kind of near Casper down there. So I had this idea for like a music video where I would be filming like fake behind the scenes of like a backyard horror film, and then we do it two takes. We do one take where we shoot it for real, and one take as sort of like a spoofy behind the scenes thing. So all the fake behind the scenes stuff went into the music video, and the real shots went into the Janice Click segment.
Yeah.
Dude, if you shoot in Kentucky again, if you need any help or just another corpse, just take and message me, okay? I'd
Yeah.
love to help.
I don't usually shoot down there, but Casper does, you know. But yeah, oh yeah, one like funny story that I want to like say about Coven, right? Yeah, it was like a real weird time for me because I sort of like wrote this, it's kind of like a breakup movie in a lot of ways, right? And right before we start, like literally like 4 days before I start shooting the movie, I start going through a breakup of my own.
Oh
Oh.
no.
And weirdly enough, we wrote the movie back in September. And a lot of the breakup and drama stuff was some of it was Zoe, some of it was me, but we kind of came up with it together. And it was like a lot of the stuff in the story are like the exact things that were like happening to me 4 months later or whatever it was. And just like so like it's sort of like I manifested this like weird thing, you know. So, like it feels like a very like personal movie to me because it feels like it was my life despite it being written before it happened.
Hmm. Was
Yeah,
foretold.
it's injected with a lot of commentary on toxic relationships. It seems like so.
Yeah. Well, I think toxic relationships are more interesting than healthy ones, and they make for better movies.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
of
I'm
course.
not saying I support toxic relationships, but they do make for better films, and
Mhm.
I've definitely been in a number of my own. So
Yeah. Well, it's just like if everybody made good decisions, we'd have no films, you know? So
yeah,
you've
yeah.
you've
What's
got to take,
the
yeah, there's no
conflict?
point. Yeah.
Yeah, but but yeah, if I mean, if you like weird romance dramas, I think a lot of people can relate to the characters in the movie, which is something like I really like wanted to do. So there's a lot of different relationships in the movie. You've got Josh and Annie's character, you've got Morgan and Casper's character, and then you got Morgan and Zoe's character, and they're all. I feel like I've been on both sides of every one of those relationships in some way, shape, or form in my life. You know, so you've got like Josh, who just like he's just like a feel good dude. He just like wants to like hang out and like watch movies and like maybe play guitar and get high or something. And his wife is just like used to be somebody. uh
I feel like maybe that line was said to you or something, or said to him. Like,
yeah. And then yeah, I mean I've I can say I personally have dated plenty of people that do not respect my film choices. And they
I
don't
think
want
we probably all can say that.
like you don't want to watch a 4 hour David the Rock Nelson movie with me. Um, yeah, and then and I think like Morgan's character being like the centerpiece character, she's sort of like in this like weird state of her life where she's been in this relationship for a long time and like she like loves her partner, but like also like it feels like stagnant and things are like rough and she's like back and forth whether she wants to like fix things and then she like meets this other person that she like finds like amazingly attractive, but like is hesitant to do about it because like she is in a relationship. I don't know. And I've also been in the other side too, like in Clover's state, right? Where you're like you see this like broken relationship and you're like, you are not happy. What are you doing there? Come
It will
on,
save you.
come on over.
Or like Gumby's situation where you're like, this person, I don't even like you that much.
Like,
Stop trying so
yeah,
hard.
and yeah. But yet doesn't have like the strength to just like call it quits really either.
Right, right. And I have on my notes, hell of a way to find out she didn't love you.
I know
Uh-huh.
Like, oh,
Uh-huh.
that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she even took and did a striptease with an amazing mask. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she didn't appreciate it. So
no,
But
no.
I mean, haven't we all been there too, where we're like, well, what can we do to spice it up? And somebody gives you some random bit of advice, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll try.
Let's
yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
And
I don't know what I'm doing.
yeah. And you'll love to hear too that yeah, this like other like hot girl gave me this advice, so I did it to impress
Right,
you.
right, right, right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, where can we find you?
Yeah, so you could follow me on Instagram at Bloodsick Productions. You can grab my movies at bloodsickproductions.bigcartel.com. You can also get them from Diabolic DVD and MakeFlix. You can watch A Corpse for Christmas on Amazon Prime. I just heard Bloodsick just got taken off, but so I'm working on getting that back up.
What a way to
Um,
find out.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah,
no, that's the sign of quality. Whenever somebody goes to watch your movie and it says the video is no longer available, that
yeah,
I'm
means you've
fucking
done something
offended.
right.
it's really weird because they didn't tell me they took it down, so I don't know why
Well,
it's taken down.
it was weird because we looked it up and I saw it on there and it was like the next day or 2 days later, Maddie went to
Yeah.
watch it. So yeah, it's just like oof.
I
Yeah,
was talking to Bruce and I was like, was it the cat? Was it the cat scene? Somebody getting so, but yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Hopefully it'll get back, but the problem is with streaming sites, there's really like no customer service or communication, and I never have any idea what's going on with my movies once I put them out in the streaming ether. So the best way to do it is just support indie filmmakers by buying physical media, you know.
That's
Blu-ray
right.
is the way to go. We
Slade gets the gold star today.
yeah.
Yeah, it was my pick this week. So
You can also get Coven of the Black Cube on VHS from Lunch Meat. And you can get Busted Babies on VHS from Gosh Darn Video. And there's links for all that stuff on my Instagram as well if you want to check me out. Or you just, if you want to chat, you just send me a message. I'll send you movies. We'll
There you
work
go.
it
Not a
out.
masculator. Shout
What's
out
up?
to the that you're putting out emasculator, so I wanted to give that a shout out.
Oh,
So
yeah,
Oh,
Emasculator.
yeah.
Yeah, all right. Real quick plug on Emasculator. If anyone does not know this movie, um, I'm so fucking excited for this movie. It's directed by another modern SOV director, Susanna Capostasi, who I think she's like the fucking queen of modern SOV. She made this movie called Night of the Zodiac, I think in 2022. That was like the best SOV to come out in decades, I think. Um, she also had another movie called Metal Maniac that is like pretty fun as well, but like Zodiac I thought was like a fucking masterpiece. So then flash forward to this year, she made a movie with Tim Ritter, who SOV fans will know from like Creep and the Truth or Dare movies and Killing Spree and stuff like that. So Tim Ritter is the executive producer, and he like wrote some of the story, and Susanna directed it, and so I think they're like a power duo. And it kind of reminds me of like some of the Dr. Fetus project I'm working on with Hugh Gallagher, where it's like the new flesh and the old flesh working on something together. And I think what Susanna and Tim are doing is really cool. So it's sort of like a rape revenge movie. It's somehow like a nasty like dick mutilation movie while also being like pretty comedic and fun. And there's like hardcore shots from like old like 70s movies with like Jamie Gillis and stuff thrown in there. And it's like it's gross, it's nasty, it's fun, it's funny, and also deeply like offensive and like alarming. Uh, so if you like stuff like, I don't know, like Rolling Thunder, but you also like, I don't know, like more fun shot on video movies. I don't know. It's really cool. So we just started taking pre-orders for that. By the time this video is out, it might even be out by then. So check out the Emasculator. Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
But
guys. Thanks for tuning in again. And until next time,
thanks for having me.
thank you.
we'll see you guys.
Thanks, Bruce.